Independence Gardens program. And Independence Gardens is a nonprofit, but we provide fresh food access to kids in schools and communities.
So it starts with providing
fresh food access for elementary schools, actually.
Okay.
And
and
so,
regionally, where?
Nationally. So our overall goal is to be in 65,000 elementary schools in the country.
Okay.
And why we do that is because schools are the heart of communities. And if we just get those kids connecting and planting those fresh food, then we're automatically feeding communities. So there should never be a question where kids understand where fresh food comes from, ever. And so we want to take a bite out of food deserts and take the conversation out where we don't know where apples come from, or we don't know where food comes from.
Yeah.
I talked about this last year that
It's terrible.
It's terrible. And the world population is set to increase 9.7 billion. Water is decreasing. And so we're starting to teach these kids the value of sustainable food access and what that looks like. So it really starts with that.
So let's talk about that for a second. And I'll tell you a funny, really goofy thing I do sometimes when I'm speaking, because I go to conferences like this sometimes. People tend to get pretty uptight about being perfect, and it's like almost like a religion, this environmental stuff, and it gets a little heavy sometimes, right? So I break it up and I say that I'm a vegetarian who eats fish when I feel like it, cheese once in a while, and last time I looked, this was a dead cow around my waist.
Got it.
My point here is I call myself a connectitarian,
right?
Because we've lost connection with where our food comes from. And if we can just connect back and just take and honor the cycle of food and pray and say prayers for the food as it flies through its food chain, then we can bless it into our being and welcome it in a sacred way. Today, to your point, I know this is a long story, but I'm getting back because it's perfect the work you're doing. It's really just about connecting kids at the right time from where food comes.
And it feels like it's such a different concept. But so for example, we spend $1.7 billion in school lunch food waste alone every year. Yet 23 million kids are going hungry, right? The math does not. But what we're finding is third graders do not know that carrots grow from the ground. They feel like you go to the grocery store, you get it, and you get back and you go in the car. So, and when they know that they're growing it themselves and they understand that cycle, they're more apt to not only make those healthier food choices. So now we're talking about obesity rates and how that impacts, right?
Insane,
And then they're more apt to say, well, then I won't throw that away. Or if I'm eating it on my school lunch, then I'm really minimizing that, and they understand that. This is more critical for.
So true. A good example, just for me, I tend to be pretty connected to that stuff because I've been around the planet a few times, around the sun a few times. But I moved to Tampa, Florida with my family about 3 years ago. So I was all excited. I used to live in the Virgin Islands. I was all excited to be back in the tropics type of temperature.
Florida,
So, of course, I dug up and I planted a banana tree and a fig tree. And it is amazing because when I got those bananas, those were so special and sacred to me. There was zero waste. But how many times do we have bananas? You just buy a rack from the store, and next thing you know, they're black. And you throw them out.
It is.
So I would have never let that happen because I was connected to it off my tree. And that's what you're talking about with the carrots, right?
It is. And so like a good example, you talk about connection. And so one of our programming is called Come and Eat It. And it's our trademark program. And what we did is we combine what do you do with the food that you grow? So we literally take hundreds of kids across the city this year. So this year alone, we had over 800 kids participate in one day. And we had chefs come in and they taught them how to create a dish based off the Navajo Three Sisters. I don't know if you're familiar with Three Sisters, okay?
But say to our listeners,
so
please.
the Three Sisters is basically the interrelationship between corn, squash, and beans. And it has been around for thousands of years. And what we're doing with Come and Eat It is teaching them not only the value of fresh food, but culturally that there is, we need to understand how fruit has been around for thousands of years and how it's not only been beneficial to the earth because we understand the whole consciousness of eating and things and all of that. But it's an opportunity for them to, I think, reclaim what I think we've lost, right? And it's all about that. And that's part of what we do is we connect them with sometimes food that they don't even know where it comes from, or a culture that's brought it here first. So there's always a cultural component along with science, technology, engineering, and math in everything
That's
that we do.
beautiful.